How about some red beans and rice? I have these beans soaking in water. Usually I soak them overnight, but in warm water I've let them sit for about 3 hours. So I'm going to drain them like so. So I get my beans in my pot, and I am cooking mine on high because I want it to be ready in 4 hours. So for starters, I have a half of a large onion, and I have some seasoning here, which is some garlic, onion, a pinch of cayenne pepper, salt, pepper, and parsley. So what I'm going to do is get that all poured in here like so. And then I'm just going to cover the water. So that's about 2.5 cups of water. And it depends on how many beans you add. You want to just cover the beans thoroughly. And then I just simply cover and let it cook. So my beans have been cooking almost, not quite, maybe about 2.5 hours. And they're boiling, so I don't want to open. So what I'm going to do next, because I'm sure a lot of people are asking, where is the meat? So I am adding meat, although sometimes I don't. But I'm going to add a half a pound of this brand to my skillet. So I'm going to brown this over medium heat. And what I have here is some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder because we want some seasoning in our meat. We don't want it bland. So I'm going to add that to it. This will also add more flavor to the beans. And I'm going to also add, although I have garlic powder, I'm going to add some minced garlic and get that in there. And although I have onion powder, I'm going to add, this is approximately a small sweet onion. Okay, got my ground beef all brown and the onions are soft, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to my beans. So before I added my meat to my beans, I took out just a small portion of the beans and some of the juice. And that's what it looks like with just putting the meat on top. So for this portion, I'm just going to get this all stirred up in here with that nice size onion in there. And I'm going to take this mixture and add a little bit of flour and mash those beans up to give me a thicker juice for my beans. So basically you can use any method you want. Just sharing this, I'm sure a lot of cooks already know that, but I'm just taking a spoon and mashing down on those beans that are at the bottom and mashing them up until I get them to a consistency that I like. And then I'm going to add some cornstarch to this mixture. So there you go. I added a little water to bring it up to the top. And I have a fairly decent thick mixture here. And the beans have been mashed up in here. But I add one other ingredient most people may not do, but I like to do for my gravies. It's just a small amount. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. But I add about a tablespoon of soy sauce. So I get that poured in there. I like how the the soy sauce will darken up the gravy just a little bit. As you can see there, has this nice caramel color. So now I am just basically going to pour this back into my beans. So I've got my ground beef in there, getting all that juice marinating together. And so now I'm going to pour in my other mixture. And I love the extra gravy that this will have to go over the rice that I'm going to share. That onion down in there. And so I'm going to let this cook for another hour, and it should be good to go. The beans are pretty much there. So after boiling another hour, it should be ready to go. Okay guys, here we go. It has been cooking. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? And what goes best with red beans and rice? Well, some of my sage herb bread that I made while my beans were cooking, and that's another video. But let me get this plated up and show you. Before I get to plating up, I forgot to mention I am using some brown and red rice with chia and kale. Got to get a little bit of the greens in my meal. So this is another quick pop in the microwave, 90 seconds, and it's good to go. Look at this smoking hot cornbread. Steam is coming off. I'm just going to sit it here on top of my piece of napkin here, because I'm going to slice into this, and I am going to add some of my herb butter with garlic inside the bread. This is so delicious. That butter is going to melt inside of there and make that bread even extra special. So guys, I had to come into the video. It is smelling so wonderful in here. And I'm going to bow down. Look at that. So now I'm going to start plating this up. I have my bowl here, and I'm going to take, let's see if I can do this in front of the camera. I'm going to take a nice heaping amount and place in my bowl. There. That's 2, maybe 3 scoops. I've been eating all day, so this is my only meal for the day. And I'm doing a little fasting, but anyway, we got that. And I'll bring you closer in as I finish this off. And then got my rice here that I showed. I'll take my scooper. I know some people probably put the rice on the bottom, but I'm going to put it on top. All kind of goodness in here. I think I'll turn the camera around so you can see it better. And there's my red beans and rice. And I'm going to come over. I have a scoop of rice. And I'll add that in there like so. Look at that rice. It is so yummy. Again, this is the brand. I usually will make my red rice. I do have a box version, but didn't feel like doing too much tonight. Multitasking. And last but not least, that delicious cornbread. So there you go, guys. Red beans and rice with some nice herb cornbread. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, like and subscribe. Bye now.